Good morning. How are we doing? Thanks for joining. Who's in the house? Richard Benham, you are first. You win the internet for today. Good job. Fallon Mary. Or is it? No, Marie, sorry. Fallon Marie. That's because I don't eat any meat. How are you, lovely? Thanks for joining. Joe Papa. Owen Samurai. Joe Papa, I went to bed at 5 yesterday, AM or PM? Just putting that out there. Also went on a long hike yesterday. So it's been a painful day for me today. Oof. I take it you're not used to long hikes. I would be sore also. Saban Shah is in the house. That's a cool name. That sounds like an Indian name to me. I don't know if it is or not. I hope I'm not being a daft racist. And I went to a Hindu wedding yesterday. It was amazing. I had the best day. Danny De Silva in the hizzy. How are you? Saban, that no more salt person is really deluded. I know a channel called More Salt Please. No more salt. Are they a YouTuber or? Never heard of them. I can't see a channel. Tell me about the no more salt person. What are they talking about? Liam Reed in the hizzy. Oh, Alid is here as well. Hello, Alid. You're always here. It's good to have you on board, my friend. Unknown error. I think I'm just going to cut out all animal products from tomorrow. Nice. And learn as I go. Might be trickier than slowly cutting at me, but I just don't want to wait anymore. Good for you, my friend. Good for you. Let's give Unknown Error a round of applause, everyone. I want to see those applause emojis. I mean, I would say, obviously eat a lot of whole plant foods, legumes, whole grains, fruits, vegetables, nuts, seeds, herbs and spices. But do add in some, I don't know, tofu, seitan if you're not gluten intolerant, textured vegetable protein. I wouldn't go like 100% like fiber-rich food straight off. I think that's the main concern. But yeah, over the course of a few weeks, if you want to optimize your health, of course, then drop those out slowly as well and then go towards 100% whole plant foods. If health is something that is important to you, which it should be. Most people don't worry about their health until there's something to worry about. And at that point, it can often be too late, which is sad. You might want to download my free vegan nutrition e-guide. That may really help you. It's all the basics, everything you need to know. One handy little downloadable thingamajig. Stacey Langley and Kelly Horrocks. I'm going to say Kerry because I was looking at Horrocks. We had a late one because of that wedding. We didn't end up getting home till like 11. We're normally asleep by 10, so I'm a bit bamboozled this morning. I think let's get hydrated. See if I can get my brain to work. Jack the Gamer, good to see you. Timo, do you use a sports/running watch? No. And do you have any good recommendations? No. I'm sorry. I did have a Fitbit, and then I got given another sort of Fitbit style thingamy, but it didn't really interest me very much, in all honesty, so I didn't really get into them. So, yeah, I can't really help. Is there one called Whoop? I've heard that's meant to be good. Joe Tarot, how are you doing? Vegan Metalhead, hello, it's 3:30 a.m. here. What are you doing up at 3:30 a.m.? That's not good for your circadian rhythm, young man. But don't go. Nice, Jack. GG, what would you recommend to eat before 10k bike ride? Lots of carbs. I'd be carbing up like for a day or two beforehand. Lots of pasta and rice and things like that, dried fruits. Oh, you mean more salt, please? Right. Yeah, I'm vaguely aware of them. What are they? What are they up to? I can't remember what sort of channel they are. Oh, like an ex-vegan sort of story. I don't know if I listened to her malarkey or not. So what, did she quit being vegan about a month ago, or did she only speak about it a month ago? Oh, I see. Ryan did a response. Yeah, I remember looking at it. I can't remember why I didn't bother with a response. Yeah, any reason to not be vegan anymore is usually, is always pretty dumb. There's no good reason to go back to killing animals unnecessarily, is there? Unless you want to be more of an a-hole in life. VegMed Cardboard is in the hizzy. Nick Gordon, does tofu not count as a whole plant food? That is correct. Soybeans are a whole plant food. Tofu is a processed food, because they've extracted the fiber. You lose about half the minerals. It's like coagulated soy milk, isn't it, basically? However, I don't see it as too unhealthful. You know, if you're having 1 or 2 servings in the context of an otherwise whole foods plant-based diet, as long as it's not had loads of crap added in, so you can get some sort of tofu cutlets, which are flavored. They tend to have added oil, salt, just loads of different additives they can put in. So really the healthiest thing is the whole plant food. Nothing bad added, nothing good taken out. Yeah, with tofu, you've had some good stuff taken out, but with just a plain tofu, there's nothing bad added. And it's a good strategy for some people. Like some people who are transitioning and they don't want to eat everything rich in fiber because their gut microbiome can't handle it yet. So they'd have some gut dysbiosis going on. For a bodybuilder who needs, or any strength or physique athlete that needs to eat a bit more percentage of protein in their diet, it's a way to up your percentage of protein without eating, most whole plant foods come with a range of macronutrients and not just so heavily tilted towards protein. So, I like it. I include it as part of my diet. So I say that I eat a predominantly whole foods, plant-based diet. And the things that aren't completely whole foods, I try to make them as healthful as possible, really. Demi is in the house from Australia. Welcome. You guys are my 3rd biggest following, so I like to come on early in the day to catch some of my lovely Australian contingent. How are you doing, Demi? Where in Australia are you? How's the vegan scene where you are? I'm intrigued. Yeah, Whoop seems to be very interesting for anyone working out hard trying to maximise recovery. Expensive though. See, that makes sense to me. That seems like a very good use of technology. Something that's really going to give you some benefits. Timo, live stream greater than circadian rhythm. Yeah, me personally, I wouldn't want to be on the other side of that equation, but it's benefited me in this case, so I'm all for it. Jack the Gamer. Apparently, if you eat high enough percentage of fat, it can cause fatty liver disease. I have to stop eating too much fats. Yeah, I couldn't tell you. I mean, don't you have to be in a caloric excess? Surely you're not going to store fat if you're not in a caloric excess because you'll be burning all the calories as energy. My understanding was it's more free sugars that contribute towards fatty liver disease. But I don't know it all. This could be some new information that I've not been privy to yet. So perhaps I'll look into that if I get time. I mean, it wouldn't surprise me. Angharad is here. Sergeant Angharad with her Mam and Fudge. Oh, and Dad, the birthday boy. Happy birthday, Angharad's dad. How are you doing? Good to have you on board. And a lovely use of emoji. You guys don't use enough channel emojis, I'm telling you. I'd be all over him. Vegemite, Hench is sounding so heavy. I'm pretty heavy. Yeah, let's send. Yeah, good idea, Vegemite. Let's send Angharad's dad some birthday emojis. I can never find them very well. It's like you can't slowly. Oh, I can push the slider. That's a bit better. That might take me a minute, so just talk amongst yourselves. Yeah, let's get some birthday emojis on the go. Help him celebrate in style. Blinking heck, I can't find him. Help. Well, it's just zoomed past him. This is bad. This is a bad design. This box is too small. I'll just give you a crown because that's all I can find. Can some other people please do a better job of finding birthday related emojis? Well, it's the thought that counts. So I did have. Well, thank you, Stacey. That's more like it. Johnny Mayen, he's in the Hizzy, Private Mayen. Good to see you. You're welcome, Angharad. James is here. Morning Beast, day 16, no animal product. Let's have a round of applause for James, please. Good man. What prompted all that then? What prompted all this vegan malarkey that I keep hearing about? I'll keep wondering whether I should try it out. Dan! He's here. Jam it. Tofu can be good for people who can't part with fried or salty ingredients. Yummy but ethical. Indeed. Saban, she said for her mental or physical health or sometimes affecting her hormones. We think it's because she got fat. Yeah, she talks about high carb or low carb diets and mock meats. So yeah, fats, being fat does, you pump out a lot more like estrogen and stuff. And you pump out more, is it ghrelin? I think you pump out more ghrelin as well, which like makes you eat more. Yeah. Yeah, if you're eating a healthy diet, you know, you should more easily find your perfect weight or like a good, at least, body weight composition. And that would have a good effect on your hormones. If she went too high carb and dropped the fat out, she wouldn't have enough fats with which to produce like sex hormones. So there's a lot that can go wrong. Sadly, like if you're sensible, you know, if you eat a predominantly whole foods plant-based diet, like real food, number one, which you'd think, yeah, that makes sense. If you eat the range of whole plant foods, take a couple of supplements, you know, and have like a decent balance of macros, you know, at least like 10, 15, maybe 15% of your calories from fats if your calories are very low. You know, a decent amount of protein, plenty of carbs. There's not a lot that can go wrong, but sadly, some people are really silly and do fatted rubbish or like eat loads of mock meats. Not good. Jack the Gamer, does strawberry have the same benefits as other berries? Other berries are so expensive in my country, I can't afford them. Yeah, so all berries, the main thing with berries is that they're the highest fruits in antioxidants. So, yeah, they're great. They're great. There are more antioxidant-rich berries, but then there are less antioxidant-rich berries too. So, get them in you. Demi, we're in lockdown in Melbourne. Oh, I'm sorry to hear that. We've actually just come out of all the kind of, well, most of the restrictions yesterday, or a lot of the restrictions, finally, after our like third lockdown. I hope that doesn't last too long for you. Your videos have been amazing. Well, thank you, Demi. I really appreciate you saying that. And how long have you been vegan for? And are you feeling the benefit? I hope you are. Jack the Gamer, apparently even if you are not in caloric excess, high Fat percentage can cause fatty liver. Okay, free sugar and excess calorie cause it too. Sure. Dr. Michael Greger has a video on it. Right, interesting. And non-alcoholic fatty liver disease. Oh, I did see that. Maybe it's so long ago that, or maybe I just didn't take in. So did he say like an amount of fat to try to not to exceed? Gemma is also in Melbourne. It's a Melbourne reunion today. Chago Bago in the hizzy. Good to see you. Plenty of birthday wishes. Metalhead's birthday is in 3 days. Nice. He's with Reese. Do check him out. He's a wonderful young YouTuber. Wait, have I accidentally visited a rude website? Does that answer your question? Why did I just do that? I don't know. Angharad, thanks so much everyone for the amazing birthday wish for my dad. We are going to our favourite vegan cafe for a late lunch after my hospital appointment. Be well, young Angharad. I hope that goes well for you, and I hope that you and your dad have a lovely time together at your cafe. What's the cafe called? And look at that, there's Angharad again with the lovely use of emojis, a hench heart and a herbivore army soldier. She's just the best one at emojis. Joe Turo, what do you think of raisins being coated in oil in the shops? They all have oil. I don't worry too much because it's really minimal. It's really minimal. You know, it's the dose that makes the poison. You know, if you're eating nothing but raisins, I don't know if potentially that could be like a not so good amount of oil, but no one's going to eat nothing but raisins. I suppose you could try and wash it off. Yeah, I think it's quite negligible. It's less than like 1% if you look on the pack. Thanks, Peace with Reese. I'm glad you were suitably impressed there. James Sunderland, how are you doing, my friend? Where in the world are you? And how's the vegan scene? And don't say Sunderland, because that would just be silly. Well, my friend from school, Nicola Harlow, once got arrested in Harlow in Essex. And the policeman said, like, name, and she said Nicola Harlow. And apparently he wouldn't have it. And he thought she was winding him up, and like that didn't go well. And that really was her name. My friends don't always get arrested, by the way. She's more of an acquaintance in any case. Jacob Bago, is walking as good as other kinds of exercise? It's better than less energy intensive exercises, and not as good as other more energy intensive exercises. If you're like clinically obese, if like you're well old, that's not a very polite way of saying things. If you're youth challenged, you know, that would be great. If that's the most you can do, that's fantastic. Like, do as much walking as you can. You know, but really, we should probably be walking most of the day, and then we should probably do like a hard training session as well, truth be told. I imagine, you know, I saw this show about like ancient man, and they found these, like, I don't know how it happened, but like fossilized footprints, and the footprints were so far apart. The narrator said like this I don't know if he said Neanderthal or this like early human would have been moving far quicker than our greatest sprinters of today. And I think he followed it up by saying, like, I mean, this isn't verbatim, but this is the gist of what he said. We're the sorriest humans ever to have graced the face of the earth. You know, because of just mod cons, like, you know, sitting down most of the day for most people, you know, driving everywhere if you've got to go places. Historically, we had to walk everywhere. We had to walk around to forage. Some idiots were hunting, so they had to move around for that and do a bit of running sometimes. And 9 times out of 10, that didn't go well, so they had to keep doing it. Really, the higher you elevate your heart rate, like the fitter you're going to get. So for most people, walking is just ambulation. It's basically how you get around. And I wouldn't really consider it exercise for those people. Do you see what I mean? I mean, it is exercise, but I think we should be doing something challenging for our heart and lungs at least 3 times a week. So, yeah, and if you can already walk like a long way, well, you're not going to get any further adaptations from just repeating that effort. See how that works? Anchorad, the amazing vegan cafe that my mum and I love, is called Green Olive. We've got an olive tree. I don't think that's vegan, though. Bad people. Demi, I've been vegan for 2 years. Nice, I feel great, but I've been struggling a bit with being bloated for the last year. Any tips? Well, I mean, it could be a myriad of different things. You know, it could be like a intolerance or allergy. So you might try an elimination diet. It may be that you have some kind of an infection or some kind of intolerance to certain things like maybe oxalates, salicylates, histamines. I wonder, the first thing to try really would be an elimination diet. Some people struggle more with some of the high FODMAP foods. So these are fermentable oligomonosaccharides and polyols. So they're types of sort of sugars and sort of fiber, I think. So you could try look on the Monarch site, Monarch University, MONARCH, Monarch. Get their app all about FODMAPs, and you could try. You know, maybe it's something simple like a bit of a gluten intolerance. So you took out gluten and then that'd be great. But yeah, you could try these FODMAP foods. And it may be that you have a problem with some, but not so much others. But the fact is that there will be some issue going on in the gut that ideally you could do with addressing, because these FODMAP foods are actually, because they're different types of fiber, some of them are the healthiest things to put in your body because they feed the gut microbiome. So yeah, you could try messing with FODMAPs, and if that solves it, just be aware that that should just be a temporary fix while you try to diagnose what is the issue. So I'd recommend that you watch my friend Goji Man, his YouTube channel, Simon Hammett. He really is an expert on gut health, and you may find some videos that resonate with you, and you think, oh, that sounds like what's going on with me. He does offer tests. I mean, you may be able to get some tests done through your healthcare provider. Certainly SIBO, which is small intestinal bacterial overgrowth, which I actually suffered with a couple of years ago. That's now recognised by the NHS, National Health Service in my country. So, but if not, he offers private testing at cost price. So it's not cheap by any means, but it's the cheapest you would get that, and then. You can run some tests, see if your hunch is right, and then you can try to interpret the test yourself, or you can hire him for a consultation. And I mean, he was a godsend for me. Like, I was in pieces because of this SIBO, and in short shrift, is that the word? Short shrift. He sorted it right out. He diagnosed what was going on. He told me to take these certain antimicrobials, and we ramped up and back down, and it was just very concise, and it sorted it out really easily, and I could have been really suffering for ages with that. A lot of people quit veganism if they get SIBO. It's like the worst thing for a vegan to get, in a way, because healthy foods that you put in fiber rich just start to ferment in the small intestine instead of the colon, and it just causes you I had severe stomach cramp, and I was in agony. So I could see why some people would stop eating healthy foods and think, oh, I'll have to eat some unhealthy foods. But luckily I wasn't as stupid to do that, and I just thought, let's find out what the problem actually is and then deal with it. So I hope that helps. Jack, he showed a study comparing 2 diets of same calories, one low fat, one high fat, but he didn't say any advice for specific numbers. Interesting. I'm going to revisit that because that sounds like some useful info. Ankarad brings up a good point. Oh, god damn! Doug Diggler in the hizzy. Liam Reed, what's your opinion on using molasses as a substitute for white sugar? You'd still be seriously raising your risk for Alzheimer's disease because it's free sugar, not attached to fibre. I mean, it's a bit more, well, it's a lot more nutritionally dense. It's basically what's left over from making white sugar, and it's all the nutrition. It tastes like cough syrup, so it's... yeah, it's a bit of an acquired taste, and it's not an ideal sweetener for a lot of dishes because it's so strong, like metallic tasting, because it's so rich in these minerals. Yeah, I personally wouldn't, just on the grounds of brain health, like dementia. Shaggy, hi to you. How are you doing? Thanks, Chago. What's your favourite fruit? Mine is mango. I think a really ripe honey mango, like a Bangladeshi mango, the yellow ones. Yeah, very good. I like, if you can get a properly ripe. The trouble is in the UK, it's hard to get good tropical fruit because it's picked too early. But I think a properly ripe pineapple, say you're in the tropics, or a watermelon, papaya, I really like. Yeah, these are my favourite fruits. Fruits, not foods. So I need to get hydrated, I'm sure I do. Vegan Schmegan, welcome to the channel. Thanks for subscribing. If you're in the chat, please, if you would like to, introduce yourself. Where are you? How's the vegan scene? All that malarkey. Don't feel obliged if you're more of an introverted character type. We just like to welcome people. Johnny's sorting down most of the day. Sorting down? What this means? Chance would be a fine thing. What are you saying? I don't follow. Am I being stupid? It wouldn't surprise me. Sorting down most of the day. No, it's beyond me. Tim, greetings from a hot and humid Hangzhou. Do I pronounce that? China. The Chinese Buddhists are strict vegans. Nice. Which means plenty of vegan buffets. All you can eat for £3. I need to get over to blinking China. Wow, I never knew that. Chinese Buddhists are strict vegans. Very good. Keep up the great work. Thank you, brother. In China. What are you doing over there? And where are you from originally? Shaggy. Is it okay to eat seitan every day? I guess, like, from what perspective? It's certainly not optimal for your health because it's not a whole food. So it depends what exactly you mean. My digestion seems to be okay with it. So in terms of, like, can I get away with it? It sounds like you are. For me, like, if people are wanting to optimize their health, I would stick to whole legumes rather than adding in things like seitan. But if, like me, you've got aspirations of, like, a larger, more muscular physique and you need, like, a higher percentage of protein to optimize that, I think seitan would be one of the better choices. So it depends what you're axing, really. But I hope let me know if I've not answered it fully. Let me know exactly what your angle is. Eat plants brings up a good point. Super cat. I forgot there was a cat there. He's looking in my luggles. Maybe you've seen a mouse in there. Cranky Veggie Head. That's a good name. Hi, Paul and Gemma. Hope you're both good. We are. Do you have any tips for acid reflux and IBS? Go in whole plant foods. Eat a whole foods plant-based diet and getting rid of caffeine, like caffeine tablets and coffee did it for me. So I'm imagining perhaps your nutrition is not the healthiest, potentially. Could that be it? And then IBS, yeah, that's kind of a catch-all like phrase. So it could be 1,000,001 things going on there. And again, if you're eating the healthier diet, like predominantly or preferably, entirely whole plant foods, Hopefully that may put it right. And if it doesn't, I will say perhaps you've got some kind of an infection, possibly SIBO. You've got some like ill health going on in the gut. And really it's running tests and seeing, you know, exactly what it is that you've got going on. But, you know, again, it could just be something as simple as you have not an allergy, but what's the phrase? Like an intolerance to something like gluten. So you could do the old elimination diet, like try taking certain things out. Oftentimes, if people are eating healthfully and they've still got some IBS, while you're trying to suss out what's going on, you could do, you know, a bit of a FODMAP diet. You could try taking out certain FODMAP-rich foods. You know, like onions and garlic can be a particular one, or like legumes can be another one. Look up Monarch University, Monarch. They've got an app. Perhaps play around with that. But again, as I said earlier, the point of a FODMAP diet is that it's temporary while you find out what is the issue, and then hopefully you can add those foods back in slowly over time, because if you don't, like, you're limiting your health potential, because these are the healthiest foods to eat. You may like a book by Dr. Will Bulsiewicz. He's a gastroenterologist, and he wrote a best-selling book called Fiber Fueled. It's spelled wrong because he's American, so it's F-I-B-E-R and then one L for fueled. Completely spelled wrong. And yeah, you may check out Goji Man's channel, Goji Man, Gojiman, and he's got lots of videos on these types of issues, and perhaps one will resonate with you, and it may you may think, maybe this is what I've got going on, and he does offer like gut tests and consultations. And I developed SIBO, I think it was about 3 years back. Yeah, about 3 years back. And sorted me right out. He's amazing. Real genius at gut health. Chigo Bigo, why is it not recognised as a disease? Is it something that you're talking about? Small intestinal bacterial overgrowth. It is now recognised by the National Health Service in the UK anyway. It's possibly, so according apparently to some experts in the field, they think maybe up to 84% of IBS is SIBO. Just for anyone who doesn't know, it's basically the majority of our gut microbes are meant to live in the colon. But sometimes, so there's the ileocecal valve, which separates the colon from the small intestines, which is first. And sometimes they manage to migrate backwards through the ileocecal valve into the small intestine, and fermentation going on, because they ferment your healthy foods, basically. So you're eating healthy foods, but now you've got fermentation taking place in the small intestine, which leads to like excess gas, like pain, all manner of horrible things which you don't want. So we're only just in recent years really understanding the mechanism is what it is. But yeah, previously we probably called it IBS. It's just a catch-all like statement, meaning, oh, something's going on in there, but we don't know what it is, so we just call it that. Angharad brings up a good point. Birthday shark. Happy birthday, Angharad's dad. See, they're not all bad sharks, they're actually good people. Jotaro, best sweetener equals blended dates. I wouldn't be inclined to disagree because you've got the fibre. Metalhead, my workplace can make a vegan pineapple fried rice. Can they make it without the oil? And then I'm interested. Justin Boom. Looking Jack, thanks, bro. Have you ever tried AAKG before? No. That's some kind of a supplement, isn't it? I can't even... I don't even know really what it is, if I'm honest. I've found most bodybuilding supplements to be just to not really do anything, in all honesty. Arginine, alpha, keto, glutarate. Pre-workout, cell volumizing. Oh, okay. So it works like beetroot juice, basically. Yeah. Oh, personally, keep to the beetroot juice. Mind you, then that's free sugars, isn't it? Now you got to worry about that. Yeah. Yeah. Maybe that might be better in a way. Yeah. I don't know. I mean, how long has it been around? Like, are there studies on its safety? And if it's been around a short time, you know, in years to come, even if it seems safe in the short term, in the long term, will we see that it does harm? Typically, more often than not, isolated nutrients like processed foods, we almost always find out sooner or later, actually that's doing this bad thing in the body. So, yeah. I don't know how efficacious it is. So what's the sort of risk-reward thing? So I guess that's what you have to look at, risk-reward, and how adverse you are to risk. Justin, don't mention that Chinese. Don't mention the other Chinese that eats anything that is edible. Okay, I won't. Jack, today I was very surprised to discover that cumin and turmeric have good amounts of iron in them. Yeah, I'd not heard that, but I wouldn't be surprised because they're kind of roots, aren't they? Or turmeric is anyway. James, have you watched Breaking Bad? Yeah, I loved it. I loved it. It's one of my favourite shows. It was my favourite show for a time. Yeah, I thought that was very good. I just loved how Walter had nothing left to lose, and he was just this old physics teacher, but then he was bonkers and kicking kids in the knees, and like he had nothing left to lose. Oh yeah, and then he said to his wife, "I'm the one that does the knocking." He went really massive ego. Yeah, very good show. Emmanuel, good morning. I read that you can neutralise chlorine with vitamin C. Would that be potential types of a water filter? Well, I've not heard that, but what I will say is pharmaceutical grade vitamin C, like ascorbic acid, citric acid, in studies are shown to do more harm than good. So they had airline pilots. Now, airline pilots get a lot of these cosmic rays. Like they get like assaulted by these cosmic rays, like radiation basically from outer space. And they had three groups. They had the control group, which did nothing at all. They had one group which took high doses of, I think it was ascorbic acid, but anyway, a pharmaceutical vitamin C. And one group were told to eat more fruits and vegetables. The high fruit and veg eaters had less like mutagenic damage, like they had less DNA like damage from these cosmic rays, so that was found to be a benefit. But the group with the artificial vitamin C actually had more mutation going on. They actually suffered more DNA damage by adding in high amounts of artificial vitamin C. So I wouldn't recommend it. I would say like get a distiller or a filter ideally. Something like that. Great question though, Emmanuel, and thanks for joining. Sugar. Thanks, Hench. Yeah, trying to make the vegan gains to show people that I'm not protein deficient. Yeah, that's what we need. We need more examples of vegans smashing it in the gym. What is it? 9. What time did I start streaming? I'm going to go till 9:30 today, but I am training at 9:30, so I do need to have my pre-workout matcha, so I'll just get that in me. It's see-through because it's a deep green colour, and obviously I've got a green screen behind me. These live streams go so blinking quick, it's hard to believe. Leafy. I actually quite like the taste of matcha. I don't think it's because it tastes nice. I think it just because it makes me feel good, like energized and like calm, quite meditative almost. It produces the same brainwaves. I think like, is it theta or alpha? One of that. Anyway, you get both of those during meditation, I think. MK perinatal. My IBS still flares up now and again, but nowhere near as bad or frequent. Only a couple times a year. Don't notice any pattern with anything I'm eating. Yeah, it sounds like it's unrelated then. Because if not, it would be every time you ate that certain food, wouldn't it? I think like other things can contribute. You know, stress is probably like a big one. Nicky Northern British Gaming. Sergeant, no. I don't even know what that badge means anymore. General Nicky. Thanks for joining. How are you doing? Cranky. I'm on a whole foods vegan diet. 19 months now. Best choice ever. Nice. Don't really consume caffeine. We'll try a process of elimination. Oh, okay. So you were asking me about the IBS thing. I'm guessing. Whole foods vegan for 19 months. Nice. Yeah. I wonder if it's something like SIBO. Let me just double check that was you. Oh, IBS and acid reflux. Try this might solve it potentially. Try a couple of tablespoons of apple cider vinegar in a glass of water 20 minutes before meals and see if that helps one or both. It may like help to build your stomach acid up potentially. Sounds bonkers. You think I've got acid reflux, I've got too much acid. Apparently having lower stomach acid can give you acid reflux. And so this is a way to build it up. So yeah, you might try that. Don't put it in neat because it'll burn. So a couple of tablespoons of apple cider vinegar in water, you know, in a little glass, like about 20 minutes before you eat. See if that helps you. Hopefully that might just do it. Shaggy, I put shredded veggies, herbs and spices in my seitan and end up with pretty nutritious, easy to go. Yeah, that sounds great. Can you make me some? So I think I'd like that. Tim, hi Hench. I'm a secondary school teacher, Spanish and English. And interesting, originally from North Yorkshire. Thriving as a vegan for 18 months now, thanks to you and others. Great advice. Thank you, my friend. I'm glad you're doing so well. That's very, very cool. And thanks for joining today. Justin Boom, you'd make an incredible father. Oh, thank you. Yeah, I've never wanted kids because I don't know. I'm very stingy with my time and resources. I think I'm so driven. But recently, one of my ex-partners, her son has come back in my life, and I was sort of around him when he was like sort of 5 through 8, and yeah, he kind of looks to me as a father figure, and we've sort of recently reconnected, and we just have this most wonderful relationship. In fact, I'm taking him for his first vegan grocery shop tonight. Is it Tuesday? Yeah, that is tonight, isn't it? Blinking heck, I better yeah. Anyway, yeah, we just have the most wonderful relationship. It's really, really cool, and I'm enjoying it. Yeah, and I feel like I'm a good influence on him because he's a good lad anyway. He's a really good lad, and it's been not so nice. I mean, he's in his 20s now. This is about 20 years on. It's mad how quick the time's gone. Because I remember like yesterday when like he was really little, and yeah. Anyway, thanks for your kind words, Justin. Where's my phone? I'll just make a note of something. Sorry, peeps. So yeah, I think that might be a good video. My son's first vegan food shop. What do you reckon? Interesting, Justin Beam. 8 AKG is just an amino acid, though. Yeah, and like table sugar is just like a sucrose molecule, and that's found in like real food, but it'll still kill you. So, I mean, I'm not saying there is anything wrong with it. What I'm saying is, have we seen the science? Has the science been done? Metalheads. Yep, good man. You're learning. Larry, what's your average amount of carbs and fat you need for a 19-year-old male? How long's a bit of string, really? My chronometer is set wrong. I had enough protein. Don't worry about that. There's no like RDA really for those things. Oh, I just lost where I was. There's no RDA for carbs and fat, really. I mean, I think you don't want to go below about 20 or 30 grams of fat per day, but there's no RDA for either of those things. Yeah, I wouldn't worry about that at all. You'll find there'll be a button somewhere to select different types of diets, and then that amount will change relative to what type of diet you're aiming for. But it doesn't mean that it's unhealthful. Dan, how do you choose the number of reps, sets, or weights for your resistance training? Reps wise, I think anything can work because I'm trying to build muscle. It seems like for an average exercise, the 6 to 12 rep range seems to be the most efficacious. I mean, you can go lower reps, but then you have to wait longer between sets, or you can go higher reps, but then like it just takes so long to get the work done, and it's more uncomfortable. And basically, either way, you're in the gym longer. So I would rather be in the gym as short as possible, but get the maximum benefit. I think you got more mental power, more like physical, like energy. So that's the reason I pick like a 6 to 12 rep range. Traditionally, we called it the hypertrophy range. It's since been proven that you can build muscle on 10 sets of 3 or 3 sets of 10. It's kind of irrelevant, but the 3 sets of 10 will take you like exponentially longer because you have to wait so long for your CNS to recover after such heavy lifts. So that's how I do my rep sets. I mean, it's all about balance, basically. And I find like 18 to 24 sets to be about right for me. And weights, you know, I know how much weight I lifted last week. And I do a little system in my little notes on my phone. If I struggled with that weight, I put a little R next to it, and I keep that weight the same. And I do it next week. And if next week I find it like fairly easy, like comfortable, good form, then I put a little tick, a little green box with a white tick on it. It's an emoji. And then next week I know, right, I'll up it a little bit. And then if it's like a lift that is easy to progress on, say like shrugs, it's easy, or calves, it's easy to maybe whack 5 kilos on that for quite a long time and keep going. I might up it 5 kilos. If it's something that that I'm near my genetic potential, or I've been like pushing it for a while and it's struggling to get anywhere, I may use little micro discs, and I may just go up 0.625 of a kilo. Basically, you know, with Olympic discs, the smallest discs you get are normally 1.25 kilos. So you can only go up in 2 kilo increments. So this is a way. Hang on, I just said 0.625. Sorry. So you put that on each end. So you go up 1.25 kilos. So that's how I do my weights. And it's just all about having it in balance, basically. You know, in terms of intensity, volume, frequency. So for me, I'm doing upper body training, push and pull twice a week. I find about 18 sets seems to be about nice. You know, I'm drug-free these days. I stupidly used to take performance-enhancing drugs. So I used to do like 24 sets. I would sometimes train 6 days a week. And that's just with weights. I did other training too when I was doing martial arts stuff. But nowadays I do 6 training sessions: upper body push, upper body pull, sprints on my bicycle, hill sprints, and I do them all twice a week. And it seems to be about nice for me. Justin Boom, doesn't matcha eat tooth enamel. I don't know, I've not heard that. Wait a minute. Hopefully let's wash some of it off. Jotaro brings up a good point. Cat. Joe Pat, but who's your favourite vegan YouTuber besides yourself? Yeah, I'm quite a fan of myself, which is a good thing, really. I don't watch a lot of vegan YouTube, if I'm honest. If I watch any YouTube, I mostly look at the creator channels. But yeah, I like some of the activists. Joey, I like a lot. Earthling Ed, I think, is very eloquent. I think he's great. There's a lot to learn from him as well. Some of the fitness channels I watch just to see what the competition's up to. So Derek Simnet Nutrition, Brian Turner. But yeah, I don't spend much time watching YouTube. I'll spend more time creating, like, YouTube, doing streams, doing Instagram stuff. I'm more of a creator than a consumer. Jotaro, where can I get decaf matcha? I don't know that I've ever heard of it. Don't know that I've ever heard of it. But that's an interesting thought. I'm intrigued now. I'm going to use my good friend Uncle Google. Decaf matcha. Okay, so it's a lot of suggestions coming up. Yeah, decaf matcha. SeiMe LLC. SEI space MEE space T space LLC. Apparently they've got it. This might be good. Domatcha.com. The first decaffeinated matcha outside of Japan. Yeah, you can. Yeah, there's a few. Yes, Google it. There's loads. You can even search like by country, obviously. Yeah. Just it's all there. It's all there. Never thought of to ever look for that before. Interesting. Henzu, a tip for acid reflux helped me. Almond milk whenever you feel it coming up. I never heard that. That's interesting. You're welcome at Cranky Vegan. Pasta Pitta reckons seitan meat is so bad for you. Why is that? Dirk Diggler, cats are kids. They're great, aren't they? They're good people. Shaggy, would you adopt me, Hench? I don't know. Are you house trained? Are you litter trained? That would certainly be a contributing factor. Justin, I don't want kids, but I might adopt when I'm older. Yeah, I think that's what me and Gem, well, that's what we have said. Like, if we were going to, why not give a home to someone who already needs it? Pasta Pitta. Will it still be wonderful if he chooses to keep eating animals? I've got no idea what you're on about. You sound like you're trying to spoil for a fight a little bit. I might be wrong, but watch yourself. Yes, for the video, if he's cool with it. What were we talking about? Or maybe I'm too far back in the chat. Or maybe it's because I don't eat any meat. Oh, my son. My son. Would it be wonderful if he chooses to keep it? What a stupid question. Why are you asking that? What is your problem, mate? What is your problem? What a div. Hence, why is living in London so depressing? Probably because you're a bellend and you just piss people off. You can be depressed on your own now. Goodbye. I love divs. I'm going to be living in London soon and I'm going to have a wonderful life. But, I'm doing positive things in the world and surrounding myself by good people who don't try to piss me off. See how that works for you. Do something good for others instead of trying to piss them off. Sorry, Shaggy. Per day. Yeah, I didn't explain that very well, did I? Saban, can I put kale stalks in my smoothie? Please do put any vegetable stalks in your smoothies. That's great. Echo Island. Hello, Paul. I've got really good juice. Should I blend vegetable juice frequent or rather blend. Should I juice vegetables or blend? Oh, okay, I see what you're saying. I know, Sarah, from fruit juice and for the sugar. I mean, ideally, like, eat the fibre, but I think some vegetable juice, like greens particularly, things that are quite calorific, like carrots and stuff, I think that's going to raise your, that's going to have a lot of sugars. But something like a leafy green or a broccoli, which is not very calorific, I think you're just going to get so much more nutrition that perhaps you couldn't have been able to eat. You can only eat so much in the way of vegetables, but if you can have a juice on top and it's got all the good stuff, all the chlorophyll, minerals, vitamin K, brilliant. I think that's just going to add to your life. And that's certainly the only kind of juice that I would be personally putting in. Bloody hell, it's nearly gym time. I'm having such fun today. I'm a bit gutted. I'm having such fun. Guys, I'm going to stay on an extra 10 minutes. That's naughty, isn't it? I'm going to stay on an extra 10 minutes. Get your comments or questions in. And, I better go soon. Right. Sebastian, what are your thoughts on Huel? As you can tell from that remark, I don't like it. I mean, I've not looked at it for years. When they first started out, they did approach me. They sent me some, like a whole goodie bundle. But at the time, they added like fluoride into it. There was like some kind of like coconut derivatives, for the long and very long chain triglycerides. There was carrageenan, which we used to think was a cancer risk, but now I think there's possibly not, but maybe just the polygenin is. But with the carrageenan, I think that's not meant to be great for your gut microbiome still, though, anyway. And the fact that they shotgun loads of artificial synthetic nutrients like calcium, you're not meant to have tons of calcium in one go. And so there's the potential for, it can trigger a heart attack. If you're going to have a heart attack at some point, with calcium suddenly going really high in your blood can be the trigger of that. Can calcify organs, and that's just one. And they put loads of different artificial vitamins and minerals. If you look at meta-analysis, if anything at all, it's more likely, according to the data, that they will do harm rather than good if they do anything at all. So no, stick to the real food. If you want something like that, like a quick, easy, like nutritious shake, Vivo Life do one called Whole, and that's made with whole foods ingredients, hence why it's called Whole. So even like the vitamins there are from like powdered like whole foods. So, or you can make your own, a protein powder, ultra fine ground oats, maybe a sachet of Vivo Life's Thrive Living Multi-Nutrient, which is a whole foods multivitamin, multi-mineral, like a powder, maybe some ground chia, flax seeds. I would go that route. Pothead in the hizzy, stop being a milkman. I'm not sure who that was aimed at, but I like it. Yeah, stop being a milkman. How dare you? What is a bellend? I don't know if I can explain it on stream without hurting my terms of service. It's basically another way of saying a gentleman's member. So that's probably not, what is the opposite of a feminist? What is like a feminist for males? Like I'll probably peed one of those off if that is even a thing. Hi, pretty in the hizzy. We're very good. How are you, darling? I love your use of emojis there. Very, very good. I do like some trolls. I mean, some trolls. It's because I just read "Shut That Troll Down." I do like some emojis. God, it's because I don't eat any meat. Owen, do you worry about the air pollution moving to London? No, because I'm going to be in Greenwich Village. I mean, we will be going into the centre of London for certain purposes, but it won't be all the time. Justin's off to the gym as well. Very good. Oh. Ricky, did you eat specific foods to aid your vision, or was it generally the plant-based diet as a whole? Yeah, I did. That was just a happy side effect. And yeah, just eating whole plant foods. Yeah, I think it's to do with the arteries, or the blood vessels opening up again is my suspicion. So lower fat, higher carb, whole foods, plant-based diet, plenty of produce. You're welcome, Echo Island. Vegan Pothead, how hot is it where you are? 22 degrees and sunny, apparently. 22 degrees and sunny. So that'll be nice. Shaggy needs no letterbox. Know how to use toilet paper. Okay, well, it's not a no. It's not a no. Jack the Gamer, olive oil, good or bad? Good or bad compared to what would be the question. Far better than the butter it would displace. Not as good as eating some nuts and seeds, which have healthy oils, but also actually have fiber, have exponentially more nutrition. So from my perspective, I see it as bad. Some people say like, a couple of tablespoons may confer benefits according to some studies. But the one study anyone ever sent me was on 73 people. There was no control. Like they could have been eating anything else. It just wasn't, I don't think you could draw a statistically significant conclusion from it. Like normally you want preferably hundreds of thousands of participants. What I would like to see is whole foods plant-based, 2 tablespoons of olive oil per day over the course of a lifetime. What happens? That's the study. And once that study is out, we can then say conclusively, there was a benefit, which I can't imagine. I think we can infer there wouldn't be a benefit. I think likely there'll be at least a little bit of a detriment. But the fact is we don't know. And anyone who's really adamant on that, from what I've seen, there are some people sort of campaigning voraciously that olive oil is a health food. And it's been my experience that generally speaking, that not to be unkind, but just stating facts, they're either overweight, depressed, or overweight and depressed. I'm not saying that that's always going to be the case, but it's pro-inflammatory. It's going to be harder to balance your omega-3 and 6. You're going to have inflammation. It's the most calorically dense thing you can eat. And so little wonder. And how many people are going to stick to 2 tablespoons a day? If you're going to have oil, you're going to have oil, and you're going to cook everything in it and put it on everything potential. Well, maybe not, but it's been my experience that people find it hard to be moderate with things. Most people, once they have something and they get a taste for it, they're going to have more of it. They fall off the wagon. It's just easier for a lot of people if they just abstain, then they don't want it, But anyway, each to their own. So healthier than some things it displaces, certainly. So I'm not saying it's the devil. It's not like, say, coconut oil or eating beef. But I think there's a lot healthier things. So I think not only is it not very nutritious, or not only is it potentially slightly harmful from a couple of aspects, it does produce trans fats, even the best ones, if they're not in a opaque container, which most of them aren't, they're in a seafood container, they've been tested to have trans fats in there. The healthiest level of trans fats in the diet is 0. So to suddenly add some in, it's got to be not as good. But it's not just that there are some, and then there's the 6-to-3 ratio. There's about a dozen things where there are negatives. Some of them may be quite minor. But it's not just the fact that there are some negatives. It's the fact that you could have eaten something far more nutritious. So that's my take. Other people disagree? Right, 5 more minutes and I really must go. Oh, a masculinist, at least according to Red Dwarf. Nick Craig, do you eat durian? I have eaten durian. I ate some freeze-dried durian. That was delicious. I got some frozen durian and thawed it out, and that just seemed so minging that went in the bin. Hi, Pretty. No meat. Must give us brain fog. Have you or Gemma ever made shakes from silken tofu with fruit? Yeah, brilliant. Do love tofu, but never took that leap into the silk. Yeah, that's great. It's really great for that. Yeah, something that we often do. Well, not often, but we have done. Unknown error. How exciting. You're moving to London. I live in South East West Sussex in a town called East Grinstead. Love to meet you at a vegan convention. Well, it could well happen. Why don't you go to the Campout Unknown Error? Loads of our fellow Hench Herbivore army are going, and we're gonna meet up. We're doing we've got a Facebook page now, guys. If you want to join our Facebook page, do feel free. Hench Herbivore Community. I'll put a link in the chat now, and we're gonna one or both days we're gonna link up and just we'll do a group photo and just all hang out and meet each other. So I'll just put that in the chat now. And yeah, if you want to hang out with us, you're more than welcome to. Copy. Oh God, I've come off Facebook, of YouTube. Ah, there we are. Paste and go. Boom. Yeah, please, anyone, feel free to follow us there. And yeah, come and meet up. That'll be a lot of fun. Ricky, what makes coconut oil bad? Is it worse than vegetable oil? So I think technically coconut oil is a vegetable oil. Vegetable is a catch-all term, and it can contain a lot of palm oil, which is I think is as bad as coconut oil, or getting there at the very least. So it's the types of fat, basically. It's the types of fat in there. And it's predominantly long and very long chain triglycerides, so types of saturated fat that are found in animal products that raise serum LDL, which is the only critical risk factor for coronary heart disease, our #1 killer. So yeah, you're better off actually, from a health perspective, eating beef fat than coconut oil. It's that bad, and I'm not advocating that you should eat beef fat for a health as a healthy choice either. Like, it's horrible. And of course, there's the fact that cows don't want to be eaten, so why be an a-hole to them? Yeah. Yeah, from my perspective, I don't consider any oils particularly healthy. Certainly not healthy compared to whole plant foods, not as healthy. But yeah, coconut oil, palm kernel oil, and cocoa butter. These are 4 vegan fat sources that really do seriously raise your risk for heart disease, our #1 killer. So best avoided if you want to live a long, happy, healthy life. Shaggy, it's difficult to be in moderation. Yeah, I watch Hench Herbivore content every day. Thank you. Bless you. Unknown error. What's the best alternative to using olive oil, or what do you cook with? Water. Non-stick pan, little bit of water at a time. Keep everything moving. And as the pan starts to dry out, just add another 1 or 2 tablespoons of water. And in that way, your food still caramelizes, still delicious. It's actually more delicious because you're not coating all your ingredients with a layer of grease, meaning that you can't taste them. I personally wouldn't use any oil. And certainly when you heat oils, you're then creating like more oxygen-free radicals, which, lead to like cancer if you have enough of them and not enough antioxidants. When you heat starches, you create acrylamides. When you heat protein and fats, you create advanced glycation end products. These are not healthy compounds. So anyone saying that it's a health food and then cooking with it, they're just lying to themselves. Chigo Bago, I accidentally bought silken tofu. Any recipes you'd recommend? In our cookbook, we've got a raspberry mousse. Gem, I think that's in our Where Do You Get Your Protein cookbook? Yeah, the raspberry mousse. Is that in Where Do You Get Your Protein? Yeah. So we've got that cookbook. We've also got Virtuous Vegan Desserts, I think. Gem, what are some recipes that use silken tofu? Yeah, just in general, but yeah, if it's in the book, I'll shout out. Yeah, so where do you get your protein? There's a tuna chickpea mayo. Oh yeah, so it makes like a good mayonnaise recipe.
Yeah,
healthy.
So just put some like cashew butter, some vinegar, and if you just got other things, mustard and stuff in, and yeah, you can make a healthy mayonnaise. In the Where Do You Get Your Protein book, there's a raspberry mousse. You can easily make that into a chocolate mousse. There's also some black bean brownies, and they've got a chocolate orange frosting, which is made from silken tofu, date syrup, and a nut butter.
Could you make like a cheese sauce, maybe with nooch and nut butter?
Yeah, you definitely could. In our course, in our course, like we go into detail about all different plant foods and what to do with them. So like how to make tofu tasty and seitan and like all these things. And yeah, so in we've got some videos about tofu, and in the silken tofu, don't we make a creamy herby dressing. And what else do we make with silken tofu? Some kind of dessert? Can't remember, but yeah, we tried to make something with all those different products, didn't we? Like 1 or 2 recipes to show like what you could do with it.
That's right.
Yeah, that's most of the things we've made with it so far, I think. Yeah, desserts are a great thing you can make with it.
Yeah. Right, guys, I really better go to the gym. I need to do some back and rear delts and biceps today. So, yeah, thanks for hanging out. I've had a lovely stream. Thanks to moderators for keeping us troll free. I don't think we had any super chats. I don't know whether I'll be on tonight. As I say, I'm taking my son grocery shopping for vegan foods for the first time. So, yeah, I don't know what time we're going or how long that'll take. I'll try to get on for an hour or hour and a half tonight if I can. So, keep an eye out. I'll announce on like Instagram, hench_herbivore, if you want to follow us there. If you want to find out how to implement a healthy vegan diet, feel free to download my free nutrition guide, How to Eat Plant-Based Successfully. Link below for that. It's all free. It's very good. It's like a complete overview. If you get that and you think, oh, I wouldn't mind knowing like all the things, this course is out now. And 14 videos, big PDF downloadable. You can print it out if you want. There's our cookbooks are in there as well. I think there's about 70 recipes all told in the whole course. And it's just how everything I know about nutrition, everything Gemma knows about cooking, all condensed down to nearly 20 years of combined knowledge, condensed down into 14 videos. And like I say, this big PDF. There's charts of nutritional requirements by age, stage of life. It's just all the things you could hope to ever need to know. It's there. It took us months, but it's finally out, so we're very excited. Anyway, thanks for hanging out, and hope to see you tonight. Keep an eye out on my Instagram. If not, I'll be on tomorrow morning, but I will try to get on tonight. I think we'll be on. Anyway, bye for now. Have an awesome day, guys. Thanks for chilling with me.